So now we are on live. The co-creative destiny. I'm here with Nicole Gruel from Australia. We know each other from our Visionary Business School. It's run by Ryan Eliason. We just recently finished the school. We got to know each other, got some things in common. Nicole has written a great book, and I'm in the process of writing a book, as you know. And we have also got something else in common. It's about forming true connection, true intimate connections with our tribe. And her group is called Agents of Awesome. So welcome, Nicole, and really look
Thank you,
forward.
Erica. Thank you so much for the invitation to connect and connecting with your tribe and your community. I'm excited about wherever this conversation is going to go.
Me too. Thank you. Well, I would love to start with your book first, because that's how we got to know each other a bit better.
Sure.
Would you like to tell us more about your book?
Oh, I'd love to. So this is it. It's called The Power of Notes. And people always ask, notes, do you mean like writing notes? And no, it's not. So notes is an acronym for non-ordinary transcendent experiences. So the book, How Non-Ordinary Transcendent Experiences Transform the Way We Live, Love, and Lead. So what's a note? A note is an experience that stretches us beyond our everyday ordinary self. So people might call it a spiritual experience, a transcendent experience, paranormal experience. So a whole range of things that can happen beyond our usual. And it comes at a time where more and more people are having experiences that wake them up in some ways. People are talking about, an awakening that is taking place. And when we dig deep and try and understand what does that mean, it looks different for different people and it happens in different ways. But essentially, it's really about these experiences that can happen that stretch us into a greater understanding of ourselves, of the world. Sometimes trigger a sense of what do I want to do with my time and life on the planet, a sense of, real mission and purpose. And these experiences can really impact us deeply, in terms of how we live our life, our lifestyle, how we love the relationships we have, how we want to be with other people, and how we lead. We fall into natural leadership when we start to do what is true at our core, what is true to us within. As we start to move through, a leader doesn't have to be someone up on a platform doing great things. We all lead in different ways in our own lives. And so this is really about engaging with a soulful, conscious path, and how to do that well. So that's what that book is all about. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's so exciting. And so much relates also to my metaphor of this co-creative destiny weaving. Obviously, to a different soul expression in your book, like the notes of awakening. For me, co-creative destiny weaving is also connecting to our soul purpose, what we're here for on earth, and lead that in a conscious way. So a very great book.
Exactly. And that co-creation piece is key, because we're realizing more and more how interconnected we are as a planet, as a species on a planet. I mean, we need each other, right? We need each other. We need to work together in order to do life, and hopefully do it really, really well. So it's beautiful, because we're at a time when people are stepping forward and they're hearing the call on a deeper level, exactly like you are, Erica, with the weaving. And stepping in to help people connect to what is that deeper calling within me. What do I want to do with my time on the planet? And then, my goodness, who do I want to be connected with as I do that and as I branch out? It's beautiful stuff. I know I get excited, just as excited as you do, about this kind of work, because it's such a privilege to be able to walk the path with people. Yeah,
that's right. We're speaking the same language there. It's
yeah.
very, very exciting. And how can the people get hold of your beautiful book?
Oh, great. Well, thanks you for asking. It's available free online. You can actually get a free digital copy. I will put the link below after this conversation, so it's an easy click away, and you can have it. Or if you're the type of person who likes a hard copy, because some people just, I like a hard copy in my hands, but you can purchase them through my website. If you want the hard copy, I will sign it myself and I will post it to you with lots of love myself. So we'll put both of those links below this conversation. Yeah.
Yes, great, great. I would definitely like to get hold of on that, like I did as well. It's a fantastic book, and leading up from the awakening experience, like the notes is for me is another synonym for that. It's like picking up our thread of consciousness, like our destiny. We want to naturally co-create. We want to share our gifts while we came here. And that's why I love connect with people. And it's all about tribe building as well. And
Absolutely.
you recently started a great tribe as well, which is called Agents of Awesome.
Yeah.
And immediately was drawn to connect there as well. It's so great to connect with similar-minded souls like yourself.
It's been so much fun, this Agents of Awesome, because like exactly what you're describing there, once people have awoken to some kind of sense of, wow, there's more in my life, or I want my life to be about more, and life could be really profound and meaningful, and I can use my time in wonderful ways, and I can do it with other people. And if we've had experiences that really open us up to something bigger and broader, this is where I talk about the agents of awesome. To be an agent is being like a vessel of something. We're in service to something as an agent, and it's action driven, it's action based, right? It's purpose driven. So being an agent then of awesome, I mean, and these spiritual experiences, these awakening experiences, they open us to awe, as in the real meaning of the word awe, like AWE. It is truly something awesome.
Yes.
So when we become a vessel for this greater, wonderful, sacred life force energy, whatever, put your own language to it, right? Everyone has their own words for this unworded thing. But as we become vessels for that, we have the capacity to do amazing things with one another on the planet. I mean, we're all alive. If we're listening to this or having this conversation, we're alive at this point in time right now. And we can do things if we want to. There's no shortage of problems to address on this planet, whether they be massive planetary ones or very small ones happening in our own communities or home or backyard, right? There's no shortage of suffering and issues and pain all over the place. And so being an agent of awesome is a call to people who are prepared to, one, be an active citizen, and two, to do so in service to a better world. That's really simply what it is, and a deeper layer of that is people who, the reason they're doing that is because something has been awoken in them. They've become a vessel of awesome. They've become an agent of awesome to create more awesome in the world, to create more awesome with other people, to use their gifts, as you're talking about there too, as they weave their own destiny. And I'm excited about this kind of conversation, whether it happens in the Agents of Awesome. It's happening in all kinds of places. The Agents of Awesome was simply one place I wanted to create to amplify these conversations. But I find them so exciting because I really think we as humans have no idea how amazing we can be on this planet. Once we start to awaken our own gifts, live those gifts, master those gifts, expand those gifts, and now we collaborate with others, right? And we do it together as whole communities, and we see touches of this, very conscious communities in pockets of the planet that are doing really extraordinary things. This is the power of collective conscious human beings together, and what we can create. So imagine what this world could be like, as we do more and more of that. And that's what excites me so much about this. So that's the call to the agents of awesome.
Wow.
And why I love hanging out in that group every day. Yeah.
I get goosebumps listening to that because it so touches also my soul, and what I think brings us forward, makes us divine when we are connected to the source and to the soul, which is the bridge to the source. I always feel like that. If I learn to communicate with the soul, then I become naturally a vessel to the source, and why I incarnated in my human body. And then it's so exciting to come together with people like yourself. And
it truly
is
is
awesome.
And that we need everybody and their gifts, because we each are this vessel of magnificence doing it in our own special way. I mean, there has never been another Erica quite like you on the planet, right? Doing it in the time and in the way exactly as you're doing it. Same as me, same as everybody else listening to this. We're each like this. We each have a unique history. We have a unique life that has played out, stories, experiences, etc. So even if we're all sharing the exact same message, right, at the end of the day, or something very similar, we're each doing it in a slightly different way that's going to reach people slightly differently or connect. I once went to this book event for authors, for people who wanted to be authors in the kind of personal growth, spiritual development genre. And the guy who was up on stage, there was this huge room, auditorium of about 300 ready to be authors, hungry with their kind of idea of, I know what I'm going to bring into the world. And this guy jumps up on the stage and he said, look, everything you're about to say in your book has already been said by two people, Jesus and Buddha. And it's actually very funny because in that moment it's like I could almost hear these dream bubbles popping all around the room, like deflate, like, oh, crap, so what am I going to say then, right? And he said, and he followed that up after everyone had kind of sunk down into, but your job is to say it a different way.
Yes.
Your job is to say it your way.
Yes.
And I was so grateful for that message, because it's like, really, even though we might each be unique in our own way, are we that original? I mean, maybe we're original in some aspects of creativity through who we are in the moment, but in many ways we're just rehashing the same messages to ourselves as a species, because I guess we're quite dense in many ways and we're just not understanding things. Yes. So that was a funny moment in time. But I guess the point of all of that anyway, the importance of co-creation and where we can take this, absolutely, if everyone stands in their own agency with their gifts.
With their own unique story to tell. I love this one quote by Michael Mead, who is like, it's such a great inspiration in my life. It's like he's saying that the home we are seeking is within ourselves. It's this unique story which we all carry within ourselves. For me, it's like this unique destiny thread which we carry in this big web of life. And even though there's one truth, there's one source where we all originate from, we came here for a reason to gift this uniqueness of our story, of our destiny thread to the world. And then it's so much easier if we connect with people where we can share that. like where we walk
Absolutely.
each other home together.
Yeah.
That's what I really love.
Yeah. The importance of community and tribe is essential, to lift one another up, to give one another examples of how to do that, to encourage each other along, because life is challenging. Life has any number of things in our day to day, and we get so caught up in just life, right?
Yes.
It's busy, and the world right now is such a busy place. We're like bombarded with thousands of messages. So to remain clear and strong on a pathway, which is, I mean, it can be a very strong thing to lead us through, but on a day-to-day basis, it can be almost like a background, an ongoing background sound or track that is always there in our lives leading us. But if we get too distracted with the day-to-day things, we can kind of have a distance with that thing that really continues to drive us, that deep song within. And I speak to some people who say, you know, their greatest fear is that they will die with their song inside them.
Yes.
And I think that would be the greatest tragedy. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, if you can feel that already at this point in time, then don't do that, because you know for yourself that there's a piece of you. What is that song? How do we bring that forward? Let's start singing it. How do
Yes.
we, you know, evolve it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the importance of staying connected as community to help each other. We like the trees. This wonderful documentary has just come out about how interconnected the root systems are, and how much conversation goes on over,
Yes.
you know, kilometers and kilometers, hundreds of kilometers. They're all having a conversation,
Yes.
and they're one community. Even when a stump looks dead on top of the ground, it's still interconnected in the, you know, in the intelligence system underground, just like we have the internet, right? We're so interconnected. So how do we do it well together, right? Let's use these tools that we have to uplift and elevate one another.
So beautiful. I mean, referencing what I also write about in my book, like each one of us are like the tree which started as a seed with all the contained potential, and trees don't ask themselves what they're here for. They're like just becoming what they truly are. Plus having the connection to the whole wide world as above as below, because they're truly interconnected. Or like whales are also so beautiful, like you mentioned, like our own unique song. Like the whales, they communicate like to this waves, like to oceans. It's like, I mean, wow, it's so amazing. And I think if we live out our full potential, we can also do that. I mean, that's the awakening experience, like the notes you mentioned at the beginning. I mean, that's when we feel this interconnectedness of all, and then everything makes sense. Yeah, I think that's a very similar experience. We just like forget. We forget, disconnect, and then we don't speak this interconnected language or the song. And that's where it
It can
helps
be.
to remind each other of that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's so easy to forget. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm so pleased we have connected and we're in community, and you've got this gorgeous community of people who, you know, as you say, we're all remembering ourselves to where we need to go and where we've come from. It's a beautiful process.
Yeah, feels so sacred. Thank you very much for walking
Well,
each
thank
other home.
you. Yes. Absolutely. And thank you for the gorgeous work you do, Erica. You know, I see what happens in the community there, and I think it's such delicate and sacred and honorable work when we sit still enough to be with people and find out what that deep thread is, you know, that deep meaning of why we're here, and then to help facilitate that and make that happen. What a great thing to be doing.
Yes, absolutely. It's awesome
It is awesome.
being in awe of what happens and originates and emerges. Beautiful.
Yes.
There may be one final thought, like what you would like to have happen with your book or with the Agents of Awesome.
Oh, well, yeah, what's behind all of it is just that people live their best life. That's it. That's it. I vision, I dream, I hunger, I yearn for a world where people freely be themselves, share their gifts, know their gifts, share with one another, and get out there and do incredible things on the planet. I think we don't need to be in the place that we are right now on the planet in terms of the way we're destroying it. I mean, we're parasites on our home, and we're not doing too well as a collective species right now. And the sad part is, if we carry on, we will wipe ourselves out. Fact, I think. At least it's looking that way. And this rock that is going through space ultimately is going to be okay. We humans are like this tiny blip. We're like a blink, right, in time. We think we're much more important than that, but it's really like a blink in time. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. We can do better. We can create better. We can be awesome. We can be truly awesome. We have the potential within us. We have living examples on the planet now doing it. It's as simple as making some choices, committing to that. And exactly, as we've been talking about, connecting with those communities, connecting with those people, who are in alignment and in resonance with the kind of world that you also want to be living in. This is how we make change happen, together. We each have to do our own work, obviously, but together we have to come together, because we are one big family, ultimately. So I just leave people with, be you, please be you, and don't die with your song inside you, whatever that beautiful song is. We want to hear it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That really touches me. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Nicole.
Thank you, Erica, for the connection, and I look forward to future conversations and the comments, and I'd love to hear what people have, what this has stimulated for people as well, in the chat. So I look forward to seeing you guys there.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole. We stay in touch and continue to walk each other home, stay awesome, and continue to hold this thread together. Thank you.
Beautiful.